Hi.
Hello,
Hello.
this is our YouTube channel. My name
This
is,
is the channel, and this is us.
yes, I'm Troy. This is,
Tanya.
all right, and we're a married couple that does reselling. And we're not quite sure what the name of our channel is going to be yet. So it might change a little bit. But if you can go ahead and like and subscribe to our channel, this is our segment we're going to call Three Things. It's going to be three things that we bought
Yeah,
this past week and three things that we sold this past week. It's going to be our favorite stuff.
sure. It's going to be our favorites, fun finds. We'll throw in a few facts or make some up. I'm kidding. Throw in a few facts about what we found, what we sold. And it's kind of fun for you to know a little bit more about what we're looking for. And would love to see in comments things that you're looking for. Like, have you ever found this kind of thing or that kind of thing? So we're just looking, just fun, informational entertainment.
And just a little background on us. Again, we're resellers. I'm a part time reseller. My wife is a full time reseller. I've been reselling since 2003, but you got into it right after or during COVID,
During
right?
COVID is when I really got into it. I
So,
mean, honestly, what I really got into was my son and my husband were always reselling clothing. I would go into the thrift stores with them, and I was just overwhelmed by the amount of clothing and the patience it would take to go through the racks, and that just wasn't me. I started waiting in the car during COVID, and one day they were just taking so long, I went inside and I wandered over to the home decor area, and, I thought it was going to be a bunch of broken, gross things because I've never really thrifted decor before. And to see all these like fabulous glass pieces or, atomic art, all these things that are like, wait, this stuff is really nice. So from there, I kind of educated myself about the items, bought what I liked, looked it up, and learned as I went. And now I'm in year 5 of reselling and educating myself, but I'm always educating myself.
and I'm Vintage Finds 513. So if you look
Mm-hmm.
for us, I'm gonna put links down below to our pages. But I sell mostly on eBay and I sell on Poshmark as well. I sell most of my vintage clothes on Poshmark, and then your
I
handle
am
is your
five.
handle.
I know, not like a handle to a mug. Hello,
Uh,
the it's hip and thrifty 513. So I sell mostly on Instagram. I like to have a static sale page. You can get out here and you can just claim without the lives, the contests, blah blah blah. I do that stuff too, but for fun. And then I'll throw a few things on eBay as well. But mostly I'm an IG seller, and I really like that contact with everybody and direct messaging. I just having a great time.
Yep, and she has just under 8,000 followers right now on
Yes.
Instagram.
So help me
So
get over that hump.
again,
I
we'll
want to
we'll
get
put
to
in the
8.
links. We're putting the links in the show notes, and we'll put up some of our logos and stuff like that. That way,
Yeah.
you guys can follow us. But let's get into it. I mean, we're gonna try to do this once a week,
Right.
and so we're gonna add to our story as we go along. But
Yeah.
I just kind of want to dive into things and show people what we found
What
over
we
this
do, what
past
we
week.
like. Yeah.
And the first thing I'm going to start out
Hmm.
is
Okay.
the finds. So I'm
Ooh.
going to show one find and one sold. So my one of my favorite finds. So I found some pretty awesome stuff this week, but one of my favorite finds is this Raymond Oliver cookbook. And I know what you're saying, like Raymond Oliver.
Who is Raymond
It's a
Oliver?
fun cookbook. He was
Okay.
kind of like the first celebrity chef.
Oh.
He had TV shows. He had cookbooks. He was
Like
like
when? Like what, the 50s, 60s? What was it?
from he was born in like the early 1900s, but he became famous kind of right after World War II.
Huh.
Famous 3 Michelin star chef and influenced people like Julia Child,
Oh,
Marco Pierre
cool.
White. We wouldn't have Gordon Ramsay and people like that if it wasn't for Raymond Oliver. So maybe we could blame him a little bit. But but one of the fun things I like to do, and I'm a former chef. I owned restaurants in my
Yes.
lifetime, and but one of the things I like to do is I like to pick up cookbooks. And again, this cookbook is kind of like nothing like crazy special,
Right.
but this is something you have to do as resellers. When you go into stores and you find cool, fun books, open them up because this is where this book got really good. Look at that. So he inscribed this book in 1969.
Mhm.
So this is a signed
Do you
copy.
say inscribed instead of signed?
Inscribed.
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 Inscribed. Inscribed.
Well, he didn't just sign it. He's written something in French that I can't understand.
There you go. Okay.
But he dated it 1969.
Uh-huh.
He was in Chicago when he signed this book. So this is
That's cool.
not only his first edition of this book from 1969 that he signed it. He wrote the date on it, which is really cool. So I have found.
But so when you saw the book, though, did you know about him?
No, I saw a really cool, heavy cookbook, and I like to look at cookbooks. It's something I do know about, that I have a lot of cookbooks in my collection. So it's something I'm like, cool.
So you just thought, this is a cookbook.
On the shelf. Yeah. Awesome,
and I'm going to pick it up. Okay.
And then I open it up and boom, it's signed. And I found a lot of signed stuff, and I usually look at biographies, autobiographies, and I found Pete Rose signed book. I found that Johnny Cochran signed book. So there's
there's stuff to find. I mean, as far as Pete Rose, I mean, we live in Cincinnati, so
yes,
that one probably maybe a little easier to find. But no, I'm just saying in general. So I mean, I'm just saying in general, it's great to find. You know, at the thrift stores, you can find these people that you kind of forgot were local celebrities to your area and that kind of stuff. And, you know, think about that when you're looking for books.
Yeah. And Raymond Oliver died back in 1990. So he, so this
1990.
1990. Yeah. 1990. So this is, but I thought this was a really cool book. Okay, so just to kind of lay it out there in the beginning, we're not really going to talk about like prices that we paid for things. But one of the things that we will say was this was a common Goodwill priced book. It wasn't anything extravagant.
Sure.
We didn't have to pay up for this book. So if you know what hard paperback or hardcover books go for at Goodwill, that's what I paid for. If you know, you know. So a good find. This is an awesome find. I love it. Awesome. And then one of the things that this is what I bought. Yes. And then one of the things that I sold.
What'd you sell?
Well, let me look real fast.
Oh no, you ain't have your stuff.
Oh, I did. Your stuff. So one of the things I sold, and I'm going to put the listing here somewhere. Here.
Oh, right on top of my face.
Right
awesome.
On top of your face.
Thank you.
The Hunter S. Thompson Hell's Angel.
That
was a first book club edition that I sold. That was something that you actually. Now this is
okay. So I find stuff for him, but I do no research. I can barely read. I saw the word Hell's Angels. Cool. That's it. I didn't even know if it was worth anything. And he was super excited when I found it in the store.
So, no, you didn't find it.
Where did I find it?
I sent you as a Facebook Marketplace.
Oh.
So I sent you to somebody's house.
That's not that exciting. But I didn't pick it up.
I found it on Facebook Marketplace, and I paid up for it because I knew that it was something really cool. Yeah. Hunter S. Thompson books go for a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And so this was the book club first edition. But this same book in a first edition, first printing of his, not even signed, goes for like $1,000. I know. But I sold mine for a considerable amount of money. I doubled my money, basically. So that's great. And
so then, just something... you know what's I think is interesting when you say like Hunter S. Thompson is so popular and everything. So as a novice, again, I'm not a book expert, I would think he's so popular that there's tons of these, so there's no value. Well, so, that's where that's where I struggle personally with books and records.
More popular after the Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Okay.
So, Johnny Depp played his character.
We've all seen that crazy acid trip dream movie.
And he was Gonzo journalism. I mean, he created that, just embedding himself into this. And the Hell's Angels, I mean, they put out a hit on him after he wrote that book because they didn't like some of the stuff that he wrote. So it's not necessarily a rare book. I mean, they still print these books, but to get a book club or first edition or something like that, that's where
okay. So that's where. So when we're talking about popular authors, we're talking. Don't shy away. You're saying look for first editions.
First editions.
Look for sometimes the book club, maybe sometimes
book club editions usually are a little bit less because they're not like these first. First edition, first printings are what the collectors
first
really
edition,
want.
First printing.
And I'll put up
those are
two of what that would have been.
Yeah.
If that would have been the book. But again, I paid up for the book. It was Facebook Marketplace pickup type rate, so it wasn't like it wasn't.
I mean, we didn't go crazy.
Goodwill paperback or hardback copy, like $1 or $2. But
Sure.
I had to pay up for it, but I did double my money on it, which is
Right.
it's awesome.
Oh, well, that's always a win.
Yep.
That's always a win.
All right, I'm gonna pass it off to you.
Is it my turn now?
Yes.
Oh, have you removed
Finally.
have you removed the picture from my face?
Yes.
No.
Picture's gone.
Okay.
Picture's gone.
Maybe not. Okay, cool. So I'll start with. I'm going to actually talk about 2 things that I sold this week because I love talking. No, I'm kidding. So I sold some treasure craft stuff this week. I just wanted to show you an example of treasure craft. When you're out, to me, it's like Brady Bunch tacky. That's what I like to call it. What I like about treasure craft is on the back, it's always like this faux wood grain feeling. And it always says, treasure craft. Sometimes it'll say Treasure Craft California, but then sometimes not. But it's always like the wood and then the wooden edge and then sort of the psychedelic glaze that you're used to seeing. I still have this piece. This is actually like my last piece. What I sold was a leaf shaped like a leaf-shaped tray. Again, it had the wood on faux wood kind of trim around it, as well as an ashtray. It was actually in the same coloration.
Nice.
So I just feel like this was kind of one of the things that I started out with when I was talking about vintage. I didn't know the brands, didn't know much about them, but definitely that is a 70s or 60s item when you see it. It smacks you in the face. And then I found out about its popularity. And so I kind of like searching, digging, and learning. That's why treasure craft is really one of my favorites.
Nice.
It's easy for me to find it. It's got the fake wood trim, and it is ceramic. But they do this fake impression, and it's just so easy to find, and it's marked on the back. So I sold an ashtray, and I sold a leaf. It was shaped like a leaf tray, but it was from treasure craft.
And where'd you sell that?
Oh, I sold those both on Instagram.
On Instagram, nice.
Just on my Instagram. The leaf tray had been sitting on there actually for like 3 years. I didn't even realize it had been there so long.
I think I found that leaf tray.
No, you did not. I did. I found it buried. It was buried under stuff. Yes. At one of those big mega thrift stores, really in the height of like COVID.
I can't
really
take credit for it,
I
guess.
No. I'll give you credit when credit's due, boss. Okay, so those 2 are sold. So then, honestly, this is a hot take because it is super fresh find. I found this yesterday at an estate sale. Why is that significant? Because it was, day 3?
It was the 3rd day.
Oh.
So that estate sale started on Thursday.
Friday,
and Saturday was half off day.
We were going somewhere else. We were on our thrift route.
Was not on our radar.
And, I'm staring at my phone and he's driving. He always drives. I'm supposed to be on the lookout for the signs. Garage sale, estate sale. I missed it. And he said, hey, there was an estate sale sign back there. And I go, well, turn around. I mean, literally in the middle of the median, turns around, we go in. And then we were kind of like, oh, it's been 3 days. Because we both sort of walked in like, is it going to be anything? Nothing good's going to be left. I mean, so we walk in and the place is empty.
I'm surprised we found anything.
I know. I'm shocked. We did end up with a couple of things. I walked in. I like that noise. I just saw this sitting by itself on a table. Nothing else around it. Kind of in their mock cashier area.
Yeah, I'll put up a bigger picture too.
And
so
I thought, well, it's just cute. Until I picked it up, and that Blinko stuff. It's their arm breakers. It's thick. It has the beautiful kind of edging on the back, and I said, this has got to be Blinko. Even if it isn't, it was pretty much a giveaway price. So I thought, let's take a chance. Let's get it. And I'm just so pleased that I took a chance on it.
Worth the investment.
Definitely worth the very minuscule
now, we had
investment.
An ashtray.
Yes.
One time that was that same color.
Yes.
Same texture
that dark, wonderful amber that Blinko does. It's so rich. And it's just, to me, I always feel like these are timeless. Blinko stuff always looks modern, even though it's old.
Yeah.
So I just think that's really cool.
Blinko in the wild is what I call it.
It's out there in the wild. So again, take a chance. It doesn't cost you any money to still go and look at an estate sale. But honestly, we were beyond low expectations. I don't even know if low is the right word.
Yeah. I'd found some albums and stuff there, but
but that was it.
None of them were kind of noteworthy.
No, they were all sort of run of the mill.
Other ones that I'm going to talk about here in a second.
But every room was empty. People were starting to take stuff off the walls, but there was hardly anything left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So I did 3. So you want to go?
You did 3. Holy cow!
I know, right?
Well, you talked about something that wasn't really here, too.
Well, they bought it. What am I supposed to do?
True.
They supposed
That's
to.
true.
Hold on. So when you purchase from me, I will send you the item. Apparently, that's not how Troy does it. I'm kidding.
All right. So the next thing that I found, again, this is kind of hot off the presses because we were out thrifting yesterday.
Yes.
And I found a pair of jeans. And so one of my, I would say about 2/3 of my listings are old vintage clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes some modern stuff that's really cool. But
Yeah.
most of my stuff is focused on vintage clothing from the 90s all the way back to like the 1950s.
Mm-hmm.
And I found this pair of jeans, and I will put a bigger listing up here, but these are Christian Dior jeans from the 1980s. Really cool pair of jeans.
Honestly, I didn't know they were making jeans in the 80s.
So there was this surge of designers who tried to piggyback on the
Jordache.
1970s and 19...
They were piggybacking on Jordache because Jordache had just come out with their big ads with Brooke Shields. So anybody in my time range, we remember this.
Yeah.
And these big haute couture designers, they couldn't compete. America was buying jeans. And a lot of them did not have jeans. And a lot of them didn't want to make jeans.
Yeah.
Like Halston did not want to make jeans.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, if you think about like all the jeans that came out in the late 70s, 80s, Calvin Klein was making jeans.
Yeah.
Gloria Vanderbilt was making jeans.
Yep.
Christian Dior was making jeans. So I picked these up. Now, here's a kind of a hot take on this. This was, we had gotten to the Goodwill at like noon, 12:30.
I don't know, maybe even later.
And there was the T-shirt bros were in there going through the racks. There was the obvious resellers in there going through the racks.
Then there were the people who never go into thrift stores. Like, what is this?
This was just sitting there. And I have done good with Calvin Klein jeans before. I've done good with Jordache jeans from the 1980s. So I saw the Dior tag and I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to pick it up. I'm not even going to look it up on my phone. Who cares? It's Christian Dior. It's going to sell. Until I saw the comps. So I'll put up the comps there. And then when I saw the comps,
over my face.
Put it over your face, somewhere over here, comp somewhere. So when I saw the comps, I kind of freaked out a little bit. I was like, these were normal priced jeans. I didn't get there wasn't like half price selling. These were normal price Goodwill jeans. Didn't have to pay up for them.
Yeah.
And the comps on these things are amazing.
They are amazing. And I'm learning so much because sometimes I have a problem separating myself from. I grew up in the 80s when these jeans came out. And these would be rich old lady jeans. This is not, she would probably have a blazer on with them and her brown high heel boots and have that pleat that they would iron in the front of it. So sometimes I am 13 years old again when we're in the thrift store and I see something, I go, ooh, not cool. And I would pass those by because of that.
Yeah.
I would not look at them.
I would guarantee that this was probably the most expensive thing in that Goodwill that day. Wow,
that was so used car salesman of you.
Yes.
I gave her on tape.
This was
absolutely
the fine. So
absolutely.
Sorry, nothing against T-shirt bros because they do make a living off of.
They do.
Finding cool T-shirts. I don't go through the T-shirt section anymore.
It's too much.
It's been picked over, but the jean section, when I find some designer stuff, like I'm all over it. So
I'm always looking for like Euro trash jeans.
Yeah.
Like crazy. I always think sometimes the uglier the better.
Old Jenko jeans. My daughter's found Jenko jeans before. And I don't know.
It's crazy. It's crazy stuff.
Crazy stuff.
Crazy stuff.
So talking about something that I sold this week, and I'm excited about this sell. This was, so I love old vinyl. This was Miles Davis, and it's in a silent way. Now this, so I'm going to talk about.
You might have to take the jacket off. They may be like shine, shiny.
So here it is.
Awesome. Yeah, that's
beautiful album. I got this at a Goodwill. Goodwill vinyl prices. Yeah, nothing crazy. Nothing too crazy. But what makes this like, and I'm gonna list up here like what I sold it for somewhere. But what makes albums collectible? So I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about like what the difference between this album and some of the other albums that you find out in the wild. So first thing, I always put albums in 4 categories.
Okay.
The first
what are
category
they?
is not rare and not desirable.
So like Michael Jackson's Thriller or something.
No, well,
no shit. Never.
so,
Bad example. Never mind.
Here's one that you find in thrift stores all the time.
Yeah.
And this is going to be not rare and not desirable.
What?
Is Bill Cosby comedy albums.
Well, there's a reason for that.
Nobody wants Bill
Cancel.
Cosby. Yeah, he's canceled. Nobody wants
Nobody
him.
wants that.
Nobody wants him.
Right.
Second category is desirable but not rare. What would I consider desirable, not rare? This was something John Cougar Mellencamp's Scarecrow. This is an original. No, they could see it. Right? It's not glaring.
Oh, it's not cool.
But that would be an example of he sold millions of copies.
Sure.
Of this. It is not rare, but it is desirable because there are John Cougar Mellencamp collectors who want this. It's not going to sell for a lot of money.
Right.
But if you pick it up for...
You think it's like somebody maybe who had that when they were younger and they either lost it.
Exactly.
Let their friend borrow it, never get it back.
Build a collection.
Something.
But it's not rare. But it is desirable.
I see. Now that's something I would struggle with.
Now here's the one that this one is a Carlo Maria Galini. This is a very extremely rare album, but it's not desirable.
What genre is that even? I don't even know what you got.
Classical guitar, Philharmonic orchestra. This is London Philharmonic music.
Okay, no, I would flip past that.
There's
flip past it.
A handful of them in the world. This one is sealed, so it's rare, but it's not desirable. So that brings me to the category. So you got not rare, not desirable.
Yeah.
You have not rare but very desirable.
Yeah.
Then you have rare but not desirable.
Oh wow!
But then it kind of goes into the rare and desirable. Okay. So this album is the Santa Maria. It's the SM first pressing of this album.
SM.
Yeah.
What does that mean? SM. You're making stuff up.
When you pull out the album, I'm going to maybe put the picture here of what that's called the dead wax. Okay. So the dead wax is the part between where it plays and the center.
Okay, the breaks.
So in the dead wax, you'll see codes sometimes, and especially on these old jazz albums, if there's an SM code in that dead wax, it means it's the Santa Maria pressing. And also, you'll see sometimes a 1 there, so it's the first. So pressing.
Santa Maria is at the place that made albums like that. Yeah, we see those on the. They put the plastic and they make the.
So it's
okay.
The first pressing.
So that's even another thing where it's pressed adds value.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
You have to do a little bit of research to know exactly what makes this album that rare.
Yeah.
But it's rare and desirable, so that's why it sold for X amount of dollars that I'm gonna put up there.
So what did so you're definitely a kid of the 80s, teenager of the 90s. So am I. What made you, in our time, albums were, I couldn't wait to get rid of my albums. So I could have cassettes and CDs and put them in my car. What made you kind of take this spin around and look at records again?
I started to get back into records when my son, our son.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I know him too. Okay.
He had gotten some jazz records from your uncle.
Yes.
And when he got those jazz records, I started to kind of do some research, and he gave him some really cool old Blue Note records from the 1960s and 70s. And we start to look through them, and I'm like, these things are expensive.
Yep.
And so then I just kind of caught the bug of trying to collect old jazz Blue Note records, Verve records, Impulse records, anything Miles Davis, anything John Coltrane. So I just started to collect those. And
it's funny because I, had this uncle, and he just recently passed away. He was almost 90. He had been buying albums from whenever he, had have pocket money, whether he was little. They lived in Jamaica, third world country, but a lot of people know there's a lot of record studios out there. There's a lot of, a lot of places where you can go and buy albums, and he never stopped. And he So to me, being around him with all these albums, I just thought it was an old man thing. So I didn't really understand the resurgence because I've seen it all my life.
I think she just called me an old man.
Well, yes, you are. But I'm saying my uncle is what I'm saying. Like, I just thought, well, that's something he's into. Right. And then it passed him by. So that's awesome that you went back and did albums. I kind of
credit him for getting
you interested.
And getting me interested in jazz albums. And now I'm just kind of a jazz junkie. So
is that something? That's not like a crackhead, is it?
Yeah, that's not like Miles. Anyways. Next, your turn.
Okay, my turn. Aggressive. Okay, so we're going to start with this vase. Honestly, this one caught me by surprise.
Was that a find or a sell?
I found it.
Oh, you just found that?
I found this probably like, I'm going to say a year and a half ago. Sometimes I like to buy plainer vases, muted color, and this like fluting on there. And I thought it'll be great to prop with. It'll be great going because I put together really cool displays for my page. And I have not paid attention to it at all. It had a big price sticker on the bottom. It was the right price for me to not think about it that much. So I put it in the cart. I was getting ready to clean it and prop it in a picture. And I took the price sticker off. And you actually heard me go, oh my God.
Yeah. From the other room.
From the other room. It is signed and numbered.
I'm going to put up the picture of the bottom
Rookwood pottery. If you're not familiar, Rookwood is, again, in Cincinnati, is a big historical pottery. I mean, they have it in museums here as well. And also, nationwide, it is known. Shocked and amazed. So to me, this is probably something, honestly, I would have passed because it almost looks like something you'd find at a Home Goods or a Target. Nothing wrong with that. So, it's just, I did not expect that. So I just like fun surprises like that. That's just a really cool surprise. Now, this is my best find. I'm going to have you hold it up because it's too big for me to hold up and to talk about it. So this, first I'll tell you, this is glass. Even though this looks like a big lucite piece, which I thought it was. I went into one of our really lower end thrift stores, which I love going to, by the way. But my expectations are very low when I go to that store. I'm looking for single glasses, maybe a single mug to finish a set. I don't find historic finds in there. And this was literally like maybe just a sliver of this is what I could see underneath tons of stuff. I mean, like cast iron pots and all kinds of trays. And I thought, if worst comes to worst, if it's a cheap plastic tray from Target or something, I will put charcuterie on it. And that'll be exciting. So I dig it out, and I didn't hear the infamous noise, the crack, crack, crack you always get when you pull stuff out at the thrift store because you're breaking the other items. And oh my God, this is glass. What the heck? And I'm really looking at that painted part, and there's raised. There's there's stippling. I mean, and there's no cracks in any of these corners. And I thought, this is bizarre. And I've tried to take a picture of it. I'm the worst at shooting mirrors, clear glass. I fight with it all the time. It is signed. And it says, Gay Fab. I was like, well, that's not nice. What? What? I wasn't sure what to think of that. So I looked it up. Gay Fab Studios is a real thing.
Oh.
Gay Fab. That's the name. Gay Fab Studios. This is the stuff. It's all those glasses that you see that are like the atomic age, the pattern.
Right.
This studio came up with those things.
Very mid-century.
She was mid-century. Gay Fab was started by Fran Taylor. She was 24 years old.
Youngster.
But I'm just not even just being young. That'd be young for this time period, but you're talking about before World War II. For a woman to start something?
Yeah.
She bought all those metal trash cans that went into bathrooms.
Oh.
That had the pretty designs on them. And she was doing gangbusters in that. And then World War II hits. No more metal. You can't. Who's going to, do all that? Metal waistbands. She had to pivot, like I said, in World War II and start this glass. And she, I guess, I'm going to put a link because everybody should know about her. She's 24 years old.
Put a link in the show notes.
All those things. And she, I guess, came up with this way to adhere the paint to the glass so that, when you wash it and things, it doesn't like come off and all that kind of stuff. Because I've had that with some of my vintage glasses where I've washed it and I've gone, Oops.
Now, have you sold this yet?
No.
All right, so this is
It's
available.
really hard for me to.
You have it listed.
No.
So that is what we call a.
That's what we call
I don't want
me
to sell.
making Troy mad. Me making Troy mad. I found literally it was just a plate, a quarter of this size.
Right.
For I think it's like $80 on eBay.
Okay. Wow.
And this is definitely not a plate. I mean, this is a for real tray. So
that is what we call the PC. That is the personal collection.
I will part with it eventually because I'm not going to use it.
Enjoy it. So that is one of the philosophies that we share about when we find things is there are certain, whether it be a jazz album or a book or something like that, there's things that we get that we want to enjoy for a little bit before we move it on to the next person, because we're in the reselling business, so everything's always going to move on. What time frame do they move on in? That's the biggest part. They can move on very quickly. Like, I'm not wearing these Dior pants.
I could not fit into those pants.
But
out.
That the Miles Davis album, I've listened to it and I enjoyed it before it went to its next home. And so
I would say
this is probably one of those.
I mean, I can't even bring myself to use it. Like, I just look at it and it's so pretty. Honestly, like, as this channel grows, you're probably going to see the items on this mantle change.
Right.
This mantle is just this is what I'm into this minute, or I just got this. I want to enjoy it for a little bit.
Our home.
Sometimes he comes home and he's like, "What's happening?"
I call them installations. So they
are installations.
All rotates. The lamps rotate.
It's a rotating vintage installation. I like that. And then I also go into Troy stock, and if I like it and it fits, maybe it disappears. I don't know.
Happened to me quite a few times.
I don't know.
All right, so
what's up?
So you have shared 2 sold, and 3 found. So let me share one more thing, and then you have to share one more sold.
Oh, okay.
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 All right,
okay, Raggy.
All right, so this is something that I've got. Move that. I don't want to break that.
I would like you to not break it either.
This is
move it.
This is a Roper Western shirt. These are from the 1990s. This is all right. So one of the things.
This is so cool.
It is really cool. So one of the things I wanted to talk about was that we get our stuff from different sources. Thrift shops is one of our sources.
Yeah, as we know, that's kind of drying up a little bit.
But there's weird stuff out there, or overpriced stuff. Facebook Marketplace is another resource where, I bought the Hunter S. Thompson book, and then we also do estate sales. Like we bought the Blinko candle holder. At a in-person estate sale, but we also tried to do online estate sales.
You're trying to keep that candle holder because you keep stumbling over it.
Yeah, Blinko. I have a soft spot.
Yes, I know you do.
But this was found in an online auction house that we actually buy from quite a bit. But this was part of a lot, and the lot had like 7 different rodeo shirts from the 1990s in it, and this was one of them.
It had all your rodeo.
Yes.
Go into a dance competition shirt you would need.
The print is on the back too. But this Roper's a nice brand.
I just want to show that a little bit more. They are around a campfire. I mean, it's highlighted.
This is my listing here. I have this on Poshmark and on
so cool.
On eBay
it is
right
so
now.
Cool.
But one of the things that we get into when we're doing these online auctions, that it's hard because when we're at a thrift shop, we can touch the product. If we're at an estate sale, we can touch the product. Because one of the reasons why I bought that lot of shirts was the Brooks and Dunn Fire
Flames, baby.
You need a mullet with this shirt.
You need a mullet, or you need to be a wrestling fan. Because that was that one team that I forget the name of it. If you guys know the name of that tag team duo, that they started wearing this stuff because they liked Brooks and Dunn shirts. So
this is a Panhandler Slim Brooks and Dunn shirt, very desirable. Has a great sell-through rate on them. I got this was going to be number 1 until I got it home and figured out that there's holes in the sleeve, and I'm like, oh, not good. But
so is that it? You give up on it, or what do you do when you find the stuff you wanted? It's got a little damage.
I'm going to to still. I don't have this listed right now, but
Yeah.
it'll be probably listed very soon. There's another hole there I just noticed.
Stop looking at it.
This would be something that I'll sell highly discounted from the normal one.
Well, okay,
But I could see somebody actually taking the sleeves off this,
and a lot of people do,
and making this sleeveless and just going crazy with the flames on
there. You know, I think one thing I thought was pretty cool. I remember the videos from the 90s. I saw Brooks and Dunn. I didn't realize that. I just thought they were shirts. I'm gonna uncrumple it.
Yes.
I didn't realize it's like literally labeled Brooks and Dunn.
Yeah, that was their line. They had a whole line of.
Well, I didn't know that. That's what I'm saying.
Slim.
I did not know that they kind of had. You know, everybody's used to it now. You've got these collaborations, but this is the 90s, man. Yep. I don't know anything about collaborations and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, honestly, with the damage, you disclose it. Yeah, that's what I always feel like. You can still sell it.
Put a few ideas out there.
Put it on what they could do with it,
but it won't go for the $60 to $75 these shirts usually.
But I do the same thing. Like when the glass is chipped or marked, I just disclose it, and then it's up to you to make your decision.
Yep. But I did sell one of those Panhandler Slim, and I'll put the listing up there. I did sell one. So the one shirt that I did sell, it was cool pink shirt, still new with tags from that lot. That one shirt paid for all of them anyway. So you'll see the listing there. Sold it for $50, and that was basically what we paid.
I wanted to talk a little bit more about. So everybody knows what an estate sale is. You know, you go, you walk in. These estate companies that do the estate sales, sometimes they do these online auctions. So when we say auction, we're not just talking about going to an auction, a live auction. We're talking about online.
Which we do go to live auctions.
We do too. But I just wanted that was something I didn't know anything about online estate auctions until we started doing this. I knew about going to an auction, or an estate sale in a house.
You know, when we're on there, we're usually bidding against other resellers.
Always other resellers.
But sometimes we bid against collectors.
Oh, it's the worst. That's the worst. Yeah. They bid it up, and we're like, okay, now you're past the value. Now it's sort of like, we have to really look like, is there any meat left on the bone at that point?
Yeah. So that's why when I'm looking through these sales, I try to look for things that are sold in lots.
Right.
And I've had success. So
why?
Lots of books, I got
a lot refers to a group.
A lot of books and a lot of books.
Yeah.
But there was some I got that were graphic novels. I got a bunch of those a couple weeks ago.
But that's not what you bought the lot for.
Well, I saw like one,
Yeah.
But like when I saw these shirts, I saw the Brooks and Dunn shirt.
That's what drew you to the lot.
But I know that there was more in that group, so I was willing to spend a little bit of money.
Yeah.
And we bought a bunch of denim and stuff like that too from.
Oh yeah, we got some really cool stuff. But I was just saying that's another thing. Open yourself up to that. Sometimes you'll find an estate company that you just like. You like how they price. You like how they run their operation, and you stick with them.
These guys, these guys usually do a pretty good job.
And there's a local estate sale that she has every week online, and I kind of stuck with that one. Yeah. But I do others, but you find your one and you just kind of keep going. So I'm just throwing that out there as another option. The other thing, I wanted to go over the last thing that I did sell. I wanted to talk about trends in home decor. So one of the big trends is curating cocktail glasses. Meaning like instead of buying the same one, you can have all different ones and different shapes and get one shape in a bunch of different colors or something like that and really have fun with it and make these cool drinks and everything. Because I believe that having people over at your house is going to come back. It's going to start to come back, and nobody wants to use all this disposable stuff anymore. So how do you stand out? So here's the picture, or I could just put it right here. Picture of it was a Noritake set of glasses. I found 4 of them. They're just so Brady Bunch. They're so 60s and they're so heavy. I love a good heavy glass. And they're that dark smoke, almost a brown color. That is very 70s. I sold it on IG. Okay. Set of 4. Actually, I had an auction. I did live. Sold it to her. I found 4 more. I contacted that buyer. Next week, she said, yep, put them in there. I want those as well. So it's just a really great find. It's very rare for me to find so many of one set.
That's where I think retail or reseller experience comes into to play, because we've talked about it a few times as we've gone through our products,
Mm-hmm.
but when you go to a store and you know something that you've sold before and you can find it at a good price, then it makes a kind of a no-brainer. You don't have to take out your phone and look it up on the comps or
Yes,
Google Lens it, or
which is
whatever
nice.
whatever else we do to look up values of things.
Yeah.
We just walk into stores, we see something
We
that
know it, and we know the price we
we've
sold it
sold
for,
before.
so we know how much we want to
Yeah.
pay for it as
Yep.
well.
And a smart person said you don't make your money when you sell the item, you make your money when you buy the item.
True,
And
true.
we kind of keep with that philosophy
Yeah,
as well. We want to make sure that we make our money in the beginning and not have
right.
to rely on it once it sells.
But I also think that, like, for me, yes, the price is great if you already know because you've sold it. For me, though, too, starting out, trust your instincts. Just something catches your eye
Right.
and you don't know anything about it, pick it up. Just Google Lens it. Give yourself
Buy the funky
funky,
stuff.
buy the cool. If it's, I mean, for me, if it's $1 and I like it, I'll just pick it up.
Yeah.
Honestly, sometimes I don't even look it up. But depending on what it is, I look at the brand or whatever. But I want people to just merely like go for their instincts. Like, it's really, because this stuff is out there and we need to save this stuff from dumpsters, man. It was buried.
Absolutely.
I mean, buried.
Well,
So,
I think that was awesome.
yeah.
3 things.
I think you're awesome.
I think you're awesome too, T.
T.
Make sure you guys, if you watch the video all the way through, make sure you guys hit like and subscribe, because this is our first video that we're putting out. But we want to put out this video once a week, and we want to put out
We're going to try
more content around the way that we source our items, and then also some content around how we sell our items. So we are
we're going to try to, spin this off into like tips, tricks, or be on the lookout for, things like that. And I'd love to hear from you guys as well. Like, if you even collect things, what do you collect?
Yeah.
Where are you finding that stuff? It's great to have a community to interact with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for watching.
Thanks.
And we'll figure out what our permanent name is, but for right now it's 513 Pickers. But TNT Dynamite. Maybe come up with a name for us somehow.
Yeah.
But thanks for watching our content.
Thanks, guys. Love you guys. Have fun.
Yeah, we'll see you at least in the next week for another sharing 3 things.
Bye.